Hi, my name is Chet Cheddar, and I'll be your host for A Closer Look, where we'll explore the most current and relevant topics covered in Frontline Initiative, which is a magazine produced by the National Alliance for Direct Support Professionals in partnership with the University of Minnesota's Institute on Community Integration. If you're wondering what Frontline Initiative is all about, it's about the work that direct support professionals do on a day-to-day basis as they support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I'll be talking to authors and taking a closer look at current practices, tools, and resources. So buckle up and let's hear what the authors have to say. Welcome to A Closer Look. I'm so happy to have everybody here today, and especially happy to have our very special guest, Tammy Murner from the Black Hills Works in Rapid City, South Dakota. Welcome, Tammy.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you.
I invited Tammy here today because of the work that she does with enabling technology. I was able to interview Tammy for an article for Frontline Initiative's issue on DSPs using technology to support people. Tammy, will you start off by telling the listeners a little bit about yourself and the work that you do at Black Hills Works?
I'd be happy to. So I am the Director of Assistive and Enabling Technology here at Black Hills Works. So what we do here is we do have our own technology team. It's 3 of us here for over 500 plus people we support. We use various types of technology, and I've been with this company for 33 years now.
Is that all?
Yes, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. It is ever changing.
Tammy, will you tell us a little bit about Black Hills Works and the different services they provide?
Sure. So here at Black Hills Works, we have just a broad range of opportunities for our participants. We have housing. We have work. So we have job coaches, job placement. We have a Susie Kappa Art Center, where individuals are able to actually go down to our art center, create art, and it's open to the public. So we're an art gallery. We have Flutter Productions, which is a theatrical production company here that holds classes on, theatrical productions and things like that. We have technology, assistive and enabling technology. We have remote supports. So there's just a really broad range of things that we offer our participants here at Black Hills Works.
Yeah, thank you. When you first started, did you start out in enabling technology, or what's been your role there?
No, I've had various roles here at Black Hills Works, which has led me to where I am today. My passion has always been to provide the best supports possible so people could live happy and independently to the best of their ability. So I started out as a DSP and worked in housing. I've worked in job placement. I've been an internal support coordinator. And then I've also worked in our maintenance department, coaching several individuals that actually work for Black Hills Works in our maintenance department. And I've always been a fan of technology and gadgets and things to help people be the best that they can be.
I love that. Through all of your work, you just have very practical experience in supporting people, so you understand all the facets of the work that DSPs are currently doing, from I'm assuming some residential support to also, as you spoke about, the employment support.
Yes, it's not an easy job to do. And I have never forgotten that.
It's not. Being a DSP is one of the most complex jobs I know that I have ever done, and I hear people talk about that as well. Tammy, when we have talked, you've told me how important it is that you have not only the vision of the leadership, but that you also have them involved and supporting your teams so that they can do the work that they do. Tell us a little bit about how that has influenced you and your team's work.
So yeah, I always like to kind of toot our horn with our upper management and our VPs. They Brad, our CEO here, has always been a visionary kind of guy, and it really does start from the top and getting the whole team from our executive team all the way down to, and I don't want to say all the way down because each and every role here at Black Hills Works is important, right? We
Hmm.
need everyone to make this happen. But really, having that buy in from the top has been very, very crucial to what we do here. So, our CEO supports assistive and enabling technologies for individuals because he knows that that's the way of the future. And it is the most excellent way to help people achieve, their goals, their dreams, and be very person centered. So yeah, everybody has been on board.
Yeah, that's great. Having that mindset that, yes, this is what we're going to do and we can do it. We're going to do it together really makes a big difference. When we have spoken, all of
Yeah,
the
and there's
things,
a whole lot of education too.
tell me more
Sorry,
about that.
there's a whole lot of education too that comes from so all of our new employees, they tour all our various areas, including our remote support area, and assistive technology. We get the pleasure of having each and every new employee come in here before they, kind of go into the homes, and we have a slideshow, and we show people about technology and how amazing it is, and what it can do for the people that we are providing services for here, and teach and coach them on how can we make things possible and how can they do their job better.
Yeah, so from the very beginning, their orientation, you were showing them all the things that can happen um, with providing that training.
Right, and letting them know that technology is on the forefront of us. That is one of our major focuses here at our company.
When you and I talk of the things that you've done with technology at Black Hills Works, the foundation is really about supporting people to be, live the life they want to live, be as independent as possible. Um, at times, this has called for a shift in thinking. I don't know when you all started using more technology the way you are now, but my guess is there had to be kind of shift in thinking and imagining things in a different way. Can you tell me how DSPs have been a part of that movement?
Yeah, so I guess like I said, each and every DSP comes through here in new employee orientation. So they get that taste of it. But then they are also involved in, it's kind of like we do a train the trainer, right? Because we know that if people aren't being trained and the folks that work closest to them aren't um aren't familiar with the technology, or they don't know how to assist them, then technology gets lost, right? And people don't tend to use it if they don't know how to use it, right?
Hmm.
And it's real super important to have those DSPs involved in every step of the way, from the time they submit a referral to us to say that someone would like to be able to mm, have their daily schedule and routine, um, talk to them and remind them. And so it starts with that referral, and that DSP puts in that referral, and then we bring, our participants in, and the DSP, we call their champions, the people that work best with them, come in, and we sit side by side and we talk about options, and we pick the device that they use, and then we train the DSPs to use it and how to help the individuals use that technology. So it's just a big win-win. And, really the DSPs are our eyes and ears, right? So they're the ones that really, really make a huge difference on implementing a lot of this technology that we use.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they know people best, and they know kind of what the needs are, what the desires are. So when you're figuring out what technology piece might work best for somebody, sharing those ideas. And if you're like, well, I think, this would work well, and they might be able to say, yeah, that's really right. Or, well, maybe, but really, this is what we're needing. Must be really critical in kind of designing and developing that plan.
It is. They are very critical in that. And the super cool thing about that, like I said too, is that, you know, um, from the get-go, we always like our DSPs to keep in mind, you know, is it good enough for me? We go by that really well here at Black Hills Works. We want everybody to be in the mindset of when you're helping people, is it good enough for me? Gem, good enough for me, right? And nothing about me without me. So that's huge because that's person centeredness. That's having people direct their own lives, and that helps us to guide them to be able to direct their own lives with the technology or whatever else it may be.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that is perfect. What a great philosophy. Tammy, one of the things you've shared with me is that at Black Hills Works, you utilize what's called the Good Life Schedule. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So here at Black Hills Works, we've realized that, our DSPs do really, really important work, and it can be a very high burnout position and job, right?
Yep.
So what we've developed, we've partnered with um, the Good Life people, and we call it the Good Life Schedule. So what that looks like is our DSPs work 3 days a week, right? And they're 312s, but that allows them to have a good work life balance because we know that people's needs are best met when our DSPs and supporters needs are met, right? So
Right.
that's played a huge, huge role in our company, and it's made a big difference along with our remote supports to for our turnover. People are healthier, happier, all the way around because right if our supporters are happy, then they're going to be doing a great job, and then our participants are going to be happy, right? And it's a win-win situation. So yeah, Black Hills Works invests heavily not only in our participants, because at the end of the day, they're our bosses, right? If they wouldn't be here, we wouldn't need to be here.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what we've come to here. And it's they get full-time benefits. Their salary is just like working 40 hours a week. They're only working 32 hours, three 12-hour shifts, and then they have the rest of the time to be able to decompress, spend some time with family, do whatever it is they need to do so they can come back happy, healthy, fresh, and ready to go.
I can't imagine anybody not liking that schedule. That sounds fantastic. And I really commend you all for like taking that leap because it is a shift. But shifts and changes can be really good things. So that's really exciting. About how long have you been doing the Good Life Schedule?
I believe it's been just a little over a year now. It's been a long process. I mean, it's taken us a while to get there and figure out how we're going to do it. But yeah, it's running pretty smooth and seamlessly right now, and people are loving it.
Can only imagine. That's great. Tammy, you told me about a partnership that you have with the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. How did that relationship get started, and what has it grown into today? How important is it to your enabling technology department at Black Hills Works?
Yeah, so it was, oh, I'm sure about 5 or 6 years ago. Um, I'm always researching the latest and greatest technologies and trying to see how we can incorporate them into um, the lives of the people we support, and how can we, utilize some of these things to adapt things, right, for people. So because it's always been, like I said, really super important for us that people understand we need to have the technology fit the person, not the person fit the technology.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it works, right?
Right.
We
Right.
know this. So I was researching 3D printing, and I just thought, you know, we could use this.
Mm-hmm.
And we need this to be able to adapt, you know, things, devices, whether it's the whole device or if it's just a piece or part of it to make the technology work for the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 3D printing is a lot.
They're
It
expensive.
involves CAD. You know, I can come up with all the cool ideas and I can see it in my head how things could work. But you know, who best to do that but partner with our School of Mines engineering students, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're going to school for. So I kind of again petitioned our CEO and said, you know, we could use a 3D printer. We had somebody on our board of directors that actually manufactures 3D printers,
Oh, nice connection.
and has a company here in Rapid City, South Dakota. And he, you know, I had to sell him and say, we could use 3D printers for us, and this is how we could use it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he brought us on board. He actually donated one of his 3D printers to us and his team. And he said, you know, CAD is a lot. It's a lot to know, it's a lot to understand. We can teach you, but how about partnering with the School of Mines? And we said, yes, let's
Yes.
do that. And Brad allowed us to have an intern from the School of Mines. And um, we kind of put it out there about kind of what we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a huge success ever since. So we have a guy that goes in, he comes in, he does the CAD, he has, you know, a really great mindset about, you know, how to help people and what we actually need. And it's really, really grown because with our small little operation from a 3D printer we bought on Amazon, now we have 3 of them running full force all the time, creating all kinds of cup holders, drinking devices, maybe clamps to affix an iPad or a phone, just all kinds of different technologies to help support our people to be independent.
That's fantastic. You used a term a couple times that I'm not familiar with, and that's CAD. Can you explain what that is?
You bet. So 3D printers use what they call CAD, is computer aided drawing or
Okay.
computer aided design, right? And that's a program on a computer that you actually physically sit there and design these clamps, these things, and it's pretty um I guess for in layman's terms, it's kind of technical and it takes a little bit to learn, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um so uh, our School of Mines students are rock stars and they are smart and that's what they like doing. And so it is, like I said, again, we don't have to spend a ton of time working and reworking and trying to figure it out. And when we can bring some young student in that already has those capabilities, and it works real good for them too because it gives them life experiences, it gives them exposure to when they go out after they graduate and they go to design something somewhere for some company, right? They catch that universal design, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
catch then that, hey, not only would this work for anybody you know around the country, but it is also it's also going to help people with physical cognitive disabilities. It's just if you universally design something, you're hitting a whole realm of possibilities, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it gives them so much experience and exposure on how to work with people on every level.
I love that partnership, and what a win-win situation for everybody involved. And the fact that they walk away with so much knowledge and that as they go out into their next job that they've got accessibility and that universal design kind of front of mind based upon this experience, that's really making a difference in the world. So yeah, great job on that partnership. I hope it keeps going for a long time.
I don't foresee it changing. Like I said, we currently have 3D printers now, and we have upgraded. We have a 3D scanner now, so we can scan people's hands, ears, feet, legs, wheelchairs. And then we put it into the computer software, and we can design things that are very customizable. And yeah, we could go out and solicit somebody that does 3D printing and design and stuff, and it would cost thousands of dollars, right?
Mhm.
But when we have it in-house here, it costs us very minimal amount. And we all know that it's a good thing to be good stewards of the money of our participants, of the state that's helping us fund this. It's just a huge win-win situation.
Yeah, that's terrific. Tell us a little bit about remote support and how does that work? How is that different from a direct support worker? And how does that fit into the programs?
Okay, so this is something I'm super jazzed about, right? It has always been my dream, we have made that come to life here at Black Hills Works. So in the beginning, we knew that dignity of risk is huge for people, no matter who they are, whether it's you, me, our participants. Dignity of risk is huge. People need to be able to live those life experiences. And so we started off with remote supports in the overnight hours with an external company. And they were in Indiana. And we saw a huge benefit from that because people were able to live in their homes independently in the overnight hours. And what we found out is, people are doing what all of us do. They're sleeping, they're watching some TV, they're enjoying their home, and they're doing that without in-person staff, right?
Yeah.
Because really, that's what people are doing. And we found when we brought in DSPs in the overnight hours, what do DSPs do? What they do best, right? But they're going to do laundry. They might vacuum. They might stay up and do some paperwork there. They might, so people don't get a lot of good sleep in their home. They don't get a lot of free time, right? They don't get a lot of any of those things that you and I all, do have on a day-to-day basis. It worked out pretty well for us, but we wanted more. Okay.
Yeah.
We wanted to be more person-centered. We wanted to be able to know that those folks knew their remote caregiver, that they could see them, that they could trust in them, that they were actually trained on all of our policies and procedures, and our, what would I say, kind of our guidelines that we go by, like GEM, good enough for me, those kind of things. And they were able to actually support people better. So we partnered with Next Gen Technology, and we are doing our own remote supports. We're using their software, and their assistance, but we're currently running remote supports in our facilities, and in 4 of our homes right now, we are running 24-hour supports. So what does that look like? Here comes my pipe dream. We're helping people cook, budget, arrange for transportation, daily schedules, all through the use of a screen and tablets and sensors throughout the home. It's very person-centered. They need assistance. They go to the tablet. They push the button. We come on the screen. We help them cook. They have a question about when their ride's going to be there, or how would they schedule a ride to go to Walmart. We get on the screen. We have them sit there with their phone. We teach them how to contact people so they can get a ride, right? Or we can tell them what their daily schedule is going to look like, or what time their appointment is. So it has been a super win-win situation again, because people are happy. People are doing things that they never thought were possible. And then we're utilizing our DSPs, right? We always need DSPs. I don't, and we hit that home really hard here at Black Hills Works. We don't ever want to think, or anyone to think, that our DSPs are going to lose their job because we have remote supports.
Right.
That's not where it's at, right? Because the fact of the matter is we cannot make sure that people get out into the community and transport them there, or remote supports cannot physically help them build their relationships, right? Teach them some of those kind of things. And so it's just a shift in the way that the job looks, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's been a win-win situation.
So remote supports are really, they're not replacing DSPs. They are in some positions like night shifts and that sort of stuff, but they're always accessible when somebody needs them. And it also allows the DSPs, I would think, to focus on really the people part of the job, the relationships and doing things together. Would that be true?
That's exactly what it is. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So we run what we call a hybrid system here. So all of our remote caregivers actually visit the folks in the home. They get to know them, right? They look at their care plans. So it's a set of 4 screens that come up. It can tell you on one screen, it'll tell you kind of the do's and don'ts, and how our participants have told us how they want us to interact with them.
Okay.
It tells us if there would be an emergency protocols. This is, if this, then this. It tells you that. It has like I said, it has another screen where they can they visually see us, and we guide them through their day, right, and helping them do things. And they have just flourished because, wow, it's super cool. They're doing it without somebody standing beside them, but they're still getting that direction. And it's just a different way of looking at it. So we have rovers, what we call a rover, and they don't just go and sit in the homes anymore. They're able to rove around, and if we call them and say, hey, look, such and such is upset because their ride was here and they didn't make it. Can you please go over there, and do you have time to give them a ride to their job? Because, they were having a bad morning and they just missed their ride. So can you go over there? And then that DSP would roam over there. Or if somebody would actually have happened to fall, or they didn't feel well, and, through the screen, we can see that they're not feeling well. Well, then we call that DSP over, and they rove over and they help them. And then we come back on. And so it's just, like I said, it's just a win-win.
Sounds like some really efficient ways of doing things. Not only efficient, but also meaningful for the people you're supporting and the staff members.
Right. It is. They seem to be very, very happy because they're getting people out, like I said, and they're getting to do those more fun things that a DSP gets to do, right? Getting them out into the community, helping them, like I said, build those relationships, helping them secure jobs or volunteer opportunities, and making those natural connections. Those kind of things that are super, super important.
Thank you, Tammy, so much for being with us here today. I just really enjoyed our conversation and learning about all the really cool things that are happening at Black Hills Works. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the listeners?
Yeah, I think it's for us, and for me, I know being in the field for as long as I have, just try to think about, but what if they can, right?
Right.
But what if they can? And know that there is a whole team of people around you, and use them, right? Talk to them, because at the end of the day, what we found out, and I know you hear it a lot, but it's super true here, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Right.
So it takes everyone to make things happen. And if anybody has any questions or wants to know more about what we do or how we do it, please reach out to me and I'm happy to share, because that's kind of what we do. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll do the best I can to help support anyone and everyone so people are living the lives they want to live.
Sounds fantastic. Tammy, what would be the best way for people to reach out to you?
You could email me. It's tmurner@bhws.com. So that would be TMURNER @bhws.com. Or you could call me in my office here in Rapid City, South Dakota. It is 605-718-8336.
Wonderful. I hope that the phone just starts ringing off the hook, because
you know what? That would be super cool to me too, because I'm just very passionate and happy to share anything that we do that could help anyone else in the field, because that's kind of what we're about, right? Teamwork.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for a closer look at Frontline Initiative. You can follow A Closer Look wherever you find your favorite podcasts, so you don't have to miss any episodes. And to find all of the issues of Frontline Initiative, go to ici.umn.edu/series/7. You can subscribe and get the next issues as soon as they're published, so we don't want you to miss out on any of that information. If you like today's podcast and you're interested in hearing about other ways to support the health and wellness of direct support professionals, tune into another podcast called Wellness Matters for Direct Support for some great resources and ideas about how to take care of yourself as a DSP, because we know that your job is very demanding and that it really takes a lot to be a great DSP. So until next time, be well. Thanks for joining the conversation. If you would like to reproduce all or part of this podcast, please email frontline-dsp@umn.edu.
Our show is co-produced at the University of Minnesota's Institute on Community Integration by Frontline Initiative co-editor Chet Cheddar and ICI Technical Director Pete McCauley. Skylar Mihailov is our editor. Graphic designers are Connie Burkhart and Sarah Kurtner. For more information on the Institute on Community Integration and all of our products and projects, please visit ici.umn.edu.